Hello, my name is June Hurcom and I will be taking you through this session focusing on aspects of how to manage stress and deal with situations where conflict may arise. This is one of a series of presentations exploring topics to help student teachers' own well-being. The session content will hopefully provide some useful advice during your PGCE studies, as well as highlight some strategies to take forward as you embark upon your teaching career. The aims of the presentation are to reflect upon ways to maintain a healthy and professional work-life balance and to identify strategies to help with developing and maintaining professional working relationships within the education workplace. As with previous presentations in the series, clear links to the professional standards for teaching and leadership are highlighted, in this case L1, taking responsibility for self. To begin with, it's worth exploring what we mean by stress. Unfortunately, there is no one definition. However, the Oxford Dictionary describes stress as a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Bill Rogers states that much of the stress we experience is natural, and we all experience stress in our lives. Indeed, we need a certain amount of stress to get up in the morning and start the working day. However, Holmes warns that insufficient stress and excessive stress are both to be avoided if our sense of well-being is to be supported. As the scales symbolise, it's about trying to get a balance. Our stresses will build up throughout the day, known as the daily hassles, but it is important to keep them in balance by finding ways to lift our mood with the daily uplifts. Nevertheless, stress becomes a problem when we feel we are not in control. This can result when the pressures we feel outweigh our ability to cope with the effects of our day-to-day life. Therefore, stress can be about feeling overwhelmed. Although there are no quick fixes to dealing with our stress, all of us will feel stressed at some point and will respond differently to the circumstances surrounding our stress. On the slide, spend a few moments reading through one primary school teacher's personal view of stress. The description is quite powerful, a personal reflection of how stress affects one person. However, I think the experiences described could actually relate to any working environment, not just education. As individuals, we're all unique, and what triggers our stress levels will be particular to the individual. Therefore, how we deal with stress will be different from person to person. What is clear is that excessive and unhealthy stress can affect all aspects of our well-being, our feelings, thoughts, actions, and our body. From feeling overwhelmed, experiencing negative thoughts, avoiding tasks, and experiencing physical health issues. Reflect upon your own views of stress. What causes your stress levels to fluctuate? Jot down your ideas. So if stress affects our thoughts, feelings, actions, and our body, what can we do to mitigate against this? Spend 5 minutes creating a mind map of ideas to counteract the effects of stress on the 4 aspects mentioned on the slide. So for instance, in relation to the body, engaging with physical activity can help relieve the effects of stress. Here are some suggestions of how to deal with stress related to each of the 4 aspects. The ideas highlighted are by no means comprehensive, and I'm sure you will have generated many more ideas to the ones highlighted on the slide. One of the suggestions relates to the technique of mindfulness, which we will explore in more detail on the next slide. Mindfulness has become a popular approach to helping to deal with stress and anxiety. Not only a technique used with adults, it is now often used in schools with pupils of all ages. John Kabat-Zinn is the founder of this approach, which is a type of meditation that gets you to focus on the here and now. Often our minds focus on past experiences or activities we need to do in the future. Mindfulness provides an opportunity to focus on the present through the practice of breathing techniques and guided imagery to help relax the body and mind and so help reduce stress. Have a go at the mindfulness activity of eating a raisin. By focusing on the single object, you bring your mind to the present, to what is right in front of you. You may be very used to raisins, but not used to taking time to actually notice them. By focusing on the raisin, you are making a point to notice everything about it and unlikely to be expending energy, time, and attention on worrying about other parts of your life. If you find your mind wandering, that's very natural. Gently guide it back to the exercise. Finally, click on the link and engage with the body scan exercise narrated by Kabat-Zinn himself. Dealing with conflict is very much a life skill and one that can be developed in any work environment, not just education. Conflict can often start with a simple irritant. As we stress, it can result in a loss of control, but how to deal with conflict is part of controlling and managing stress. It is the case that we can come across people in any walk of life that we do not get on with, but dealing with this situation in a professional way and recognizing and managing the feelings that conflict with others can generate is a skill that will prove very valuable during our working careers. Unfortunately, conflict can create an unpleasant atmosphere in the workplace. Resolving conflicts requires individuals to respect another's point of view and try to understand how they feel. The slide shows 4 scenarios based around possible conflict situations that could arise within a school setting. Card 1, professional relationships with mentors in school. Card 2, professional relationships with pupils. Card 3, professional relationships with other departmental staff and learning support assistants. And card 4, professional relationships with parents. Using Gibbs' reflective cycle, highlighted on the slide, work through each scenario and jot down your ideas under the headings supplied by Gibbs as to how to rectify these conflict situations. There are several steps to follow that can help you resolve a conflict situation. Step 1, make the choice to engage and try to separate the problem from the person. Step 2, make contact with the other person and state that there has been a breakdown in communication, but you are willing to seek a solution with an open mind. Step 3, appreciate the courage that the other party is showing and be prepared to listen first. Encourage honesty by respecting what you hear, even if it is uncomfortable. You may not agree, but it is their truth. Demonstrate empathy and reiterate that you are prepared to work towards a solution. Step 4, understand each other's point of view. Start to build a rapport by listening hard and looking for common ground, things that you both agree on. If this results in you realising that you were wrong, admit this straight away and move on. Pride should not stand in the way. You may find that the other person does not wish to resolve the problem. If this is the case, say that you wish to resolve the issue and move away. Step 5. Agree criteria for a resolution. What are your respective bottom line requirements? If you are totally incompatible, agree that the resolution is impossible and look for a way to coexist. Step 6. Explore options and possible solutions. Be creative. Come up with as many options as possible. And finally, step 7. Offer a resolution. Agree on the best solution and work together to plan your next steps. Here are some positive thoughts to take with you. Have a read through the ideas on the slide. It might be useful to print out some key positive motivating statements and have them displayed to help focus your thoughts at the start of the day. As we come to the end of this presentation, reflect upon what you have heard and identify one aspect to take away with you. Finally, there is a wealth of support available for you to access during your PGCE studies through the university's student services and wellbeing team, as well as the Cardiff Partnership Wellbeing Moodle page. Don't forget personal tutors, university tutors and colleagues out in school. They are all here to help you. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed or unsure, try not to let things build up. Please talk to someone. We are all here to help and support you through your studies and clinical practice.